start. There you go. Okay, there. Welcome, Victor, Mgos, and Jonathan to the online event engagement techniques. I am going to present my screen. And there you go. So, in preparation for the BanklessDeSci Unconference, the first one in a couple of weeks from now, I wanted to share these tips on how to create engagement with the participants of the Unconference. Since what I understand and what I expect from an Unconference is participation and engagement from the participants to take part in discussion, debates, and conversations. I wanted to offer you a bit of my experience in this area. So that's me. I don't. Hello there. I seem to have a problem with connection, and nope, it's just animation. Hello there. I'm Anafant. I am a BDAO member since October last year, and I have been a Scout member or member of the Scout movement since I was very small, and that's a place where I learned to um, organize or direct these engagement activities, and that's where my passion comes from for sharing knowledge and doing activities that engages participants. So our objective today is to provide practical tools that you can consider for your interventions and make it dynamic and enjoyable for everyone in the event. So today, don't be shy. There are going to be moments of this call that I'd like you. I invite you to participate, to share your ideas, comment, and I would ask you to be respectful, to learn, network, and discuss respectfully. And of course, you are already. Some of you already turned on your cameras. In these events where participation is the objective, it's always better if available, if possible, to turn the camera on, even if you're cooking or doing other stuff. I know that it's the middle of the day or the morning for some, and it's okay that you're doing other stuff while we are in this meeting. For me, I won't take any offense, and it's just easier to include you in the conversation if I can eventually see you around. And also, I don't know about you, but it's also more encouraging for the one that's giving the course to know that there's people on the other side, and they're just not to know that I'm not just speaking to the to the to the screen, to the camera. So if possible, there's also no offense if you keep it off if you need it. What to expect from this session? Well, it's going to be up to 60 minutes. Don't worry if you have to leave or attend another call, but I would prefer if you can bear with us in this time. Since we are only 3 participants, might take even less than 60 minutes. So if we end up earlier, we can just be free and give ourselves a little more time. This is also going to be dynamic. I'm going to use a Miro board and the platform that we are going to use together. And of course, this is meant to be participative, so I'll try to not talk all the time. It's easier said than done. But since this is in preparation for an unconference, I'm trying to encourage the same. Like this session is something of an unconference style itself. So, agenda for today. We already went into the intro and guidelines. There's going to be a mini icebreaker, my 5 minutes of information for you with the tools that I suggest you use, and a reflection. So, why an icebreaker activity? Some people, when they hear this, they go like cringe, and I just invented this quote as
What is
if an
icebreaker?
ah
What is icebreaker?
icebreaker. Okay, icebreaker. It's a phrase to use. Hmm. It's usually an activity or a dynamic meant to break the ice, so to make participants um, get to know each other, So it's usually to break the tension or to make people get together. I have never thought of the description, but it's um, very common in team building activities or when joining a new group. It's good to make like a fun game or a fun activity, even if it's short, so people relax, they engage with each other, and feel comfortable around each other. So a lot of people don't like them because a lot of icebreaker activities are boring. But at the beginning of an interaction session, an icebreaker is nice so people start relaxing. And I have a small icebreaker for you guys, an emoji competition. So I'm going to make a couple of questions. And the idea of this icebreaker is that in the chat here in Google Meet, you answer that question only with emojis. How
I
does that
don't
sound?
know how to enter emojis in easy way in the chat.
Okay, I see that there's no button for emoji. So I'm going to send a link. Emoji. There is a website from where you can copy and paste the emoji that you're looking for. So this icebreaker might not be as easy as I planned because I wasn't aware that this limitation of the tool. The first question is, I'll type it in the chat. And I just placed an example of how I would reply. The question is, where were you born and where are you located? So you can reply with an emoji. GM Elijah, we are just in the section of the icebreaker.
Well, good morning. Yeah, I just got my coffee. Just getting up. So happy to join.
No worries. Thank you for joining. I see that M Goes replied with a mountain and a palm. So I would have to guess he was born in a mountainish place, or maybe Montana. I don't know. Maybe Monterey, and he lives closer to the beach now. Victor maybe wants to go anonymous and replied with emoji faces. That's okay too.
I
And
didn't find flex.
flags, okay. Should be at the bottom. Maybe not.
I feel like you're saying that you were born somewhere where life is hard and now you're somewhere really happy. Is that the intent?
Yes, I mean that.
Nice.
Okay, thank you for participating in this icebreaker. If when I designed this activity, I was also like imagining if we were in a busy unconference session and there's 30 people or 40 people and they reply with the flags of their countries, participants would know like, there's people from my same country, there's people from my same likings. Actually, the next question is, what's your favorite food? And for me, I see a sushi emoji or something close to sushi, like nigiri, onigiri. A lobster and a cake. Very different. I hope it's not lobster cake. What you like, Elia? Victor also likes um, things that can be eaten with chopsticks. So let's say Asian or noodles or something the like. And what was the other? Ah, sorry for moving things around. And last but not least, a favorite book or song or movie in emojis. Let's see if you're up to the challenge. Hey, there's a clown and a song. I don't know what's the first emoji of M goes. It's orange. I'll see if I can say it in another platform better. Okay, so it's a pistol and a clown in a song. So it's a song about killing a clown or a murderer clown. Intriguing. So depending on how much time you have in your sessions, of course, like a Bankless or a Black Flag is your favorite book. Hmm. Depending on how much time you have during your own conference, the icebreaker can take as little as just 1 minute. Maybe introduce yourself in a couple of words, or give us an example of um, what brings you to Desci. Icebreakers can come in different formats. For example, the emojis in the chat can be very dynamic and fast, because if you open the microphone to let people have a word, could take a lot more time. But still, icebreakers are a way to start um, making people participate. So thank you for participating in this icebreaker activity. I'm gonna take 5 minutes to give you some tips on how to guide on conferences. So one of your main roles is going to be to foster conversation, not dominate it. Although you're very knowledgeable in your topics, and you are going to share a lot of that experience or knowledge, depending on how you plan the session. It's important that when there's space for participants, to not dominate the conversation, but to find probing questions, or put the guidelines, as just as I did in the beginning of the session, like what's the rules to participate, what's going to help. Of course, your responsibility is going to be timekeeper, limit and moderate each participation so everyone gets a turn, and keep it relevant. One important thing about adults, different from children, we learn the most when we find information we can apply immediately, or almost immediately after the session. So the most relevant information should be given at the beginning. Like this session is going to be so relevant for your own conference session, is what makes it hopefully I hope that's what makes it relevant for you. Icebreakers are important. They are meant So make people feel comfortable, have something in common with, know they have something in common with other attendees, start engaging in a safe way, because responding in a chat or just responding a simple question like what's your name, what's your occupation, makes it easy to begin. And so then the harder participation or the conversation can feel more natural. So tools you can use to make this more more engaging. For example, it's important for you to choose before the session, when you're planning the session, what kind of format you want to have, like an ask me anything, if it's going to be a presentation followed by a discussion, or if you want to have a debate and then have a conclusion of that debate. If you're going to present a case study or do a seminar, it's very important that you know this and tell the participants in advance. Setting guidelines or having a couple of slides, if you want, or using the chat to let them know the rules so they can read them when they join, could help. Then you can choose the participative tools, like Miro is the one we are going to use in a moment. BanklessDeSci has the premium account, so they have provided already links to those that have requested it, but you can feel free to choose others. I am going to share with you this presentation, so you can click on this slide and get to know these other digital tools that can help make engaging sessions. In an unconference, it might be expected to create alternative communication channels, like what's going to happen after the session, what do we want to do if we want to continue the discussion or the idea that generates from the group. So will there be a follow-up? I wanted to ask you, there's Elijah or Victor, if you have some other idea of tools you can use, or have you thought of other tools you want to use in your unconference?
I don't know well such tools. I almost don't know knowledge.
Okay, no worries. We're going to see an example in a minute. So here comes the activity or the unconference part of my session. We are going to use one of these tools, and we are going to complement what we have seen already through this Miro board. So I'm going to send
I
you.
have a question.
Yes.
We need to type it manually or use telephone.
Do I type it manually or use
The
telephone?
URL. The URL.
I'm going to
HTTP
send
dot-
it in the chat in one moment. Sorry, I have to stop sharing just one moment. There you go. I sent the Miro, so you don't have to type it in or scan the QR code.
It loads slowly.
Okay, Miro boards might be heavy. But you're right, I'm having the same experience. It's taking its sweet time.
I have a question. Should we set our own Miro board before I lead, I or somebody other leads the unconference session?
Can you repeat the question?
Do I need to set my own Miro board before I can lead a session?
Yes, I suggest you do it before. But it doesn't have to be a Miro board. You can choose other tools. But yes, I invite you to set it up before. So make sure you can participate by adding your name and emoji. So
I don't know what to do, how to do it, what information to include. It's a second page deck.
Let me show it to you. Just, um, I don't know what happened to my mirror board. It was just here.
Maybe F5?
Maybe what?
F5.
F5. Refresh. Seems we're having technical issues. There you go. So, to add your name, you can insert a text box and type Anna Lucia. And one thing about Miro is that you can make things very small, and then you can scale them up.
Is it
So,
infinite?
huh?
Is the board infinite?
In the work, what? Oh,
Is the mirror board infinite or rectangle?
yes.
Plane.
Huh?
Plane, not rectangle.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Is the infinite plane as opposed to a finite rectangle?
I'm gonna come back to the meeting so I can see you. What was the question again?
Is the mirror board infinite plane as opposed to finite rectangle?
Yes, I'm not sure infinite though. I think there is a limit to how big or how small, but it seems, um, but it is quite a large room to grow. So if you are able to join, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the conference. This is more comfortable to do on a PC. So if you're joining from a phone, it might not be the most beautiful experience. But the thing is, if you are on your desktop, you can easily find the text buttons to add your name to the list, and even an emoji sticker right here if you want. So this for me is the sign that you understood your way around the tool, and that you're ready to participate.
I'm clicking and nothing happens except that it became selected. I clicked twice.
You click,
I clicked this one and nothing happens. I don't understand how to use it.
and I'm not sure what's happening, but this note that you're selecting is mine, so maybe it doesn't let you edit it. Probably you have to add your own sticky note, so um, you can edit it.
How to get sticky note?
It's on
This,
the left side panel.
this. I'm not glad that I need to create second pitch deck after I have created one already.
It's okay. It's part of the experience of the conference. Maybe, Elia, this gives me the idea that if we kind of want to use this tool for many conference sessions, that we kind of give a brief tutorial or that guide people before the conference sessions to get familiar with the tool before they participate. But I know that the sessions are going to be different. Not all of them are going to use Miro. We can... Oh, Elia has raised their hand. I hadn't seen it, sorry. I was looking at another screen.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify Victor's question earlier, that that no, it's not required to make a Miro board. Yeah, we're just trying to encourage people to do it. But yeah, if you wanted to have one, we have a business plan available, so we can create a board like this with guest access and share to you via your email, so that you can control the board, and then we can publish it for the session and make it available to the participants.
Do you speak to
So
me, Elia?
yes,
Elijah?
yes, to you, to anybody, so any session leader, we can provide this whiteboard with the premium access.
What should I provide to you for you to make the board? You can read my pitch deck and based on this create it. But I think this is not very good way to get in exactly what that information that should be.
Yeah, I think Anna might show some other examples of things we can do, like with the timer and polls and other like little tools we can use inside Miro. But we can give you a template, so it wouldn't replace like your slides, but it would be a complement. So you could we would give you the template, and you could do anything you want with it to supplement your slides or to replace them if you want.
Definitely. This is a tool for an engagement activity. So we are going to have the engagement activity in just one moment. And my idea with this this list, the I am in list, is to make sure that the participants in the session know how to interact with Miro. So this specific moment, I'm dedicating some time to answer questions on how this is used and how can I add my name.
I think I should have a list of names how people could help, like programming, donating, advertising, and promoting. But I'm not sure that it's really useful.
So for me, when you enter your name here, and if you manage to put here,
It's Node. It's
Patricia.
what? How to add name Node? I'm trying to add Node. Oh, I did something wrong.
Yes.
How to do it?
Do you have a section in the left side of the Miro that has a selector, then a template, then a big T? There you go. So yes,
Why
in
it's
the
quadratic? Why it's quadratic, not rectangle? I can't resize it.
it's okay. It also
It's not.
works like that.
It's not okay.
You can, instead of the sticky note, use the T for the text box.
Ah. How to remove it?
Select and delete. So your name is there,
How
but
to
it's
resize? How to resize it?
select all the text, and a panel should appear above
Ah.
the text, and there's going to be the font size
No,
and
I
other formats.
can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, sorry, because I was selecting it.
Where this? Ah, it's very very low magnification. It's a mistake.
This part of the session is exactly for meant to align the participants to know that they can use the tool. And on the left side corner, there's also a plus more apps option. and you can choose the emojis to accompany the name as well.
I want something simpler.
Huh?
I want something simple that Miro.
Yes, Miro is it's it's you get used to using it like any other digital tool, but yeah, it's not the most intuitive tool to use. The good thing about this is that it's very collaborative, just like a Google Drive, and everyone can at the same time interact with the board. That's why it's a bit heavy, because it's meant to be shared. And thank you, Victor, for having your name. I read on the comments that since Elia is on the mobile, he will take some minutes to add his name so we can proceed. But yes, at the beginning of the conference, it's important to mention, and I forgot to remind the participants that the activities are more likely going to be easier if they are using their phone.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
using the desktop.
Why does it resize in so weird way? Wait. I wanted to decrease it horizontal size, but it decreased completely. Not only in horizontal, but in vertical too.
So
It's
I
I
think
don't
it's
understand.
because the text box was too big. So I first just selected.
You
So
did
it
it
was
right,
very
but I don't
large.
understand what you did.
So this is what happened.
Let
The
me try.
textbook,
Let me try
yes.
again. Oh,
Yes.
understand.
When you make the box shorter, more adapted to the
It's not
text,
like
it's
not
easier.
like Word or LibreOffice where the only way to change size is to use this mm, small circles. It's resized through the side. I was not understanding this.
Yes, true. It's different than other tools, um, but yeah, I'm glad that uh, we are through. And the next part of the activity, it's the dynamic part that I planned for this session. So this session is about tips to increase interaction with participants. But I also wanted to address this part on warnings and considerations, or oh, sorry, I'm gonna cough. I'm back. So I wanted to address this part of what could happen, or what would you do if during the unconference some of this happened, in order for us to be more prepared for this. So I opened this board, and my idea is that everyone adds their ideas. Elia, if you want to add them in the chat instead, because it's easier, I can put them in the Miro board. What would you do if anything of this happened? Technical issues, if people are just not participating, if there is a moment of awkward silence and it's been like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 seconds, like what would you do to break that awkward silence? Or if there is a person that is disrupting the session, instead of contributing to a discussion, they are either being irrespectful. So it is a brainstorm session. I want to give you 5 minutes to add your ideas. And no, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I think, would be okay. And then we take 3 other minutes to discuss the ideas. How does that sound? Good or bad? Good or boring? Thank you, Alaya, for your thumbs up. And Elia mentioned about the timer tool that we have integrated, this will greatly help guide people to know how much time to spend in this activity. In my case, it's an activity that I'm going to give you 3 minutes to think about it, and then we come back and discuss it. And that makes it easier for a large group of people to all participate, and then we only discuss for a bit. But I'll give you time to write these ideas down, and in 3 minutes we come back to discuss them. You okay, Victor? Does that sound good?
Oh, I don't quite understand what to do. I'm drawing.
It's okay. I'm going to restart the timer. So the idea is in 3 minutes, write down what would you do in these situations. If you have a technical issue, like the presentation is not working, or your camera, or someone, or the microphone, something happens. What would you do if there's lack of participation? If the people that are engaged or that are connected, and you ask a question and nobody replies, if there is an awkward silence, or if there's someone disrupting the session. It's very broad, but I want to get to read your ideas.
How to use these notes, comments? I press it's in the toolbar, and the right appears a sidebar. How to move this to the screen?
So to add a new sticky note, you say?
Yes, sticky note or comment.
Mhm.
How to move it to the screen?
So instead of just pressing it, so
No, drawing does not work.
you can also grab and what's this name? Like you can drag them.
I'm about the upper toolbar, upper right toolbar.
The one about the timer, voting, talk track. This. Maybe you have this. Oh, put a sticky note. We should speak in another way. Awesome.
If you knew the good lines, guidelines.
Oh. Yes, I'll start the timer. So we have 3 minutes, and then we go back and discuss the sticky notes.
I already put this a sticky note before starting the timer. So I put it now.
No worries. I just started the timer now. And I see Elias also sharing his part, so I'm going to add his comments.
Eli, are you the main moderator?
We'll have at least one moderator in each breakout room at all times.
I didn't understand.
So in each breakout room for the unconference, we're going to have at least one moderator. So it'll be like a stage with a chat, and there'll always be at least one person from our team who's there to support in case there's any technical issues.
I don't understand. Will be I the moderator of the session I lead, or somebody other?
Somebody from our team will be there.
Okay. How to play music?
Here, before starting the timer, it allows you to pick music. I don't know if you can hear it.
How do you, yeah, here, how do you do this?
So
This? No. Where is the music?
it's inside the timer app or the timer
Ah,
tool. I don't know if you can change it or if it's just the one setting the timer.
where to write my request to create the mirror board for me? In the chat on Telegram. I'm disrupting, by the way.
Yeah, it's okay because we're in. I mean, it's a small audience, and we are here to respond those questions. I suppose you text Elia or you tag Elia in the Telegram group, so he is aware that you want a mirror board. But if this happens during a session and you're giving time to people, and there's someone jumping in,
What happened during the session?
it's up to you as moderator to choose, like, wow, that was a really relevant question. I want to attend it. Or, oh, it's just a silly question. You can reply like, when the timer's done, there's going to be time for questions later. And that's it. Like, we still have 3 minutes in the timer, so let's let people concentrate. So you kind of offset them and reply to the question later. But if it's like I'm having a technical issue, I'm disrupting, but because I need help, you can address it in that moment. So okay, so let's go briefly over this these notes, and we only have 7 more minutes of the session. I didn't plan the times and the inconveniences, of course, but the idea, depending on how much time you have, of of a group participation is that at least a couple of the if you have an exercise like this, at least a couple of things should be discussed, even if you can't go over each one of them. For example, maybe I am more concerned about disruptors in this moment. And that's, if we have only little time, I'm going to focus on this for the discussion. So if there's someone that is disrupting the unconference, I would kindly ask them to follow the guidelines. Like, remember, we mentioned that we are going to be respectful of others' opinions, or respectfully participating means that we're not going to use bad words or words that could be offensive. Just pointing it out, it's very important. And as Elia, I think it was Elia who put the orange note, setting timers to force the activity, like we already discussed, Victor, that could be very helpful. And like, oh, those questions are going to be addressed later, or this is not part of the topic we want to discuss. We are going to bring the conversation back to the original objective. I see that Elia raised his hand. Do you want to open your mic and say something?
I
I
don't
was
see
just
his
trying to
hand
push,
raised.
yeah, I was trying
Ah,
to push the emoji for clapping, so I was applauding you.
thank you. Yes, it is very hard when there's disruptors. I think that's the worst thing that could happen in a non-conference. Even if there's technical issues and we run out of time, that would be like, dissatisfying, but well, we can blame the technology, but having someone interrupt you, or I don't know. I mean, I think our audience is going to be very kind and very collaborative and respectful, but still preparing for these moments it's also important. And I will, uh, just because I don't want to take more of your time that was what was planned, I'm going to share this mirror board and hope that the other speakers are also going to give, like, take some time to fill it in and add more tips so we can all learn and take these tips. And I will proceed with the rest of the of the presentation, which is just a couple of slides. And there I go. Sorry, I keep changing my screen, but it's easier for me to share it this way. So, I always like closing a meeting like this with a reflection for the participants. So, asking as simple as question as what did you learn or what did we learn? It could be very powerful to make people reflect on what was discussed. Maybe if there's a very specific topic, the question can be like, so what are the next steps for this community? Or what would you do with this knowledge? All these are very good closing um, remarks that if you have time, people can put them in the mirror board or put them in the in the chat, and that would make it also very participative and engaging, and people can take some time to say, wow, what I like the most about this is a specific something. So, Elia and Victor, I want to ask you, what advice you didn't have into account before that you are going to implement in your sessions? If you can open the mic and share.
You can what before? Repeat, please.
Again?
What before? You can before. What is between you can and before?
Yes, something. So, in this
My
last
English
hour,
is perfect.
yes, what did you not know that now you want to use in your own conference?
I didn't know how mirror works. I didn't know what else. Not good at reciting. That timer and music can be a tool to stop some bad activity. Uh, that we start in a usual Meet, Google Meet, and then move to Miro.
Yes, I'm glad to hear that you liked Miro.
I don't like
And
Miro.
oh, so I'm glad to hear that you're sincere. That's important in a non-conference. Um, there's other platforms or other alternatives that you could use. It could be only the Google Meet chat, making people respond questions or interact through the chat and foster conversation. It's also valid.
Maybe when somebody other will prepare Miro for me, it will be good. Like Elia.
I'm here to help. If you need help preparing a specific activity, I could advise. Definitely.
Thank you.
Laya, something that you
Yeah.
caught?
Yeah, I think before that, I just want to comment on Victor's comments as well. I think, yeah, the Miro as like the tool, the concept is like having a whiteboard, like when you have a meeting and you just want to draw on the whiteboard with somebody and like explain
I
concepts. So
understand.
yeah, so I think in terms of it can be used in a variety of ways, and we'll see if people get creative. But yeah, things I learned today. It was useful to me to think about like how to help and support people that run into challenges during sessions. You know, like what to do if there's technical issues or if there's disruptors. So these are things that you know, done events in the past, but Unconference is a different format. So I think it's helpful for me to think through some of these challenges for sessions. So that's all right.
Thank you. Yes, and I wanted to make this session short, and maybe I crammed too much things into it. I am more used to having in real life activities and longer formats, but still, we can explore this in more detail and maybe make a guideline or a video just explaining like if this happens, these are useful tips. There
When
you go.
the conference itself will happen? Which date?
2 weeks from now, I think it's on the. Is it the 6th or the 7th of December?
December 7th, 4 to 8 p.m. UTC.
8
Okay,
p.m.?
4 to 8 p.m. UTC.
7th December. Awesome. So without further ado, I want to thank you, and we can continue chatting, of course. I am here to help. You can reach out in Twitter, Discord, or Telegram, and I will be glad to support your on-conference sessions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Laya, for the patience and bearing with me.
Oh, thank you, Anna. Thank you for helping me with getting my things on the board with being on my mobile.
Yes, it's complicated to take into account all mobile devices and all formats and different levels of knowledge of digital tools. A lot of people have already used Miro or something similar, and giving some time for the audience to kind of like
How does
explore.
Miro look on mobile? I think of awful.
Yes, Miro is not good on mobile.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
not good.
why I assumed if it's unfair for our event, people would feel more comfortable taking it from their desktops. That's what I would do. But a lot of people are going to plug in from mobile phones. And we have to keep into that in mind. Like those users using mobile are going to participate in a very different way that those in their desktops with their headsets and with their very cool desk or office. It's challenging to bring people to participate, but that's what we are here to do. Make them have a good time, even online. I don't want to keep you guys. Thank you for your time, and I'll figure out. I'm gonna stop the recording and figure out how to share it with the rest.
Bye.